Hi, and welcome to the Varsity Sports Podcast. We're on our fourth episode. Yeah, that's right. Fourth episode, baby. We keep going, we keep rolling, the wheels keep turning, courtesy of FNB, Sportpesa, as well as Suzuki, because this is the ultimate sports podcast where you'll find out all the information about your favorite teams, your favorite players, as well as your favorite universities competing in varsity sports. So on the Varsity Sports Podcast, we've been covering the women's game. What an incredible privilege it was for me to be at the final of the women's varsity competition. We saw an incredible final from UJ. UJ lifting the title out of the Soweto Stadium in front of their home fans, in front of their supporters. The Orange Army rises once again, and it was a jubilant experience for the fans, the spectators, as well as for us who were also there. I really enjoyed every single moment of that. And you know what? Women's football is certainly on the rise in South Africa. And of course, we have to reflect on the men's game. We are heading into the third round of the tournament. What a spectacle it's been to witness so far. We've enjoyed the games. I personally got to catch some of the games on Friday. The Friday night light action is here, baby, and we're really enjoying it, right? There's nowhere better to go on a Friday than to catch the men's game in football. We're seeing some of the talent coming up. We're seeing some of the composure. We're seeing everything there is to football in our universities. You know what? I've been really impressed. I hope you've been impressed as much as I have. But of course, on this show, we have multiple sports that we're covering. So this week, we're also launching the incredible tournament. It's a Varsity Netball that kicks off this weekend. It's bumper weekend to bumper weekend to bumper weekend. You know what I mean? Like, we've got a tournament taking place in Stellenbosch this weekend. It's going to be epic. And Northwest University got to defend their crown in this edition of Varsity Netball. I'll be chatting to some key stakeholders. We'll be chatting to the captain of Wits, as well as chatting to the hashtag I love it, the campaign behind Varsity Netball. Stay with us here on Varsity Sports Podcast. Well, of course, we celebrate the champions who have been crowned in the women's game, and big shout out to UJ for winning the Women's Cup and winning the trophy in front of their home support. The celebrations in Joburg were really felt all over Soweto as they did the historic thing, making their university proud. But we're built up to the third round of the men's competition, which continues. But let's look at the table, right? I mean, it's quite interesting that the defending champions UFS lying 7th out of 8 teams, with University of Limpopo right at the bottom. Both sides haven't found points yet to register on the board yet. I mean, they have really struggled. But looking at the other half of the table, the top half, we've got UJ who are leading, the only unbeaten team. So the success in the women's side and certainly trickling to the men's side as well. There's something at UJ. There's something about what's happening in Joburg there that's certainly helping these teams to compete, but also to continue to get the points that they need. We know this tournament is going to go on for a while. There's still a lot to play for, but I think judging from the early games at Witness, they do have a statement to make. And Wits University also remain unbeaten. They've won 1 game and just lost 1. They sit on 4 points, tied with the University of the Western Cape. Now, Tuks lie in 4th place with 3 points, having opened with a victory and then play to a loss in their last encounter. Now, if I tell you what, the third round continues, and the third round, we expect nothing but fireworks in that third round of the men's competition. Now, it'll start off on Friday at 5 o'clock. You will look out at Shimla Park. That one will be televised on SuperSport. It's the defending champions, UFS, who will go and search for their very first points in this season of 2026. They battle against Wits, who are also high in confidence. And then UJ, the only unbeaten side from 2 wins from 2 games. They'll be searching for a third win as they battle University of Limpopo out at the UJ Stadium out in Soweto. And look out at 6:30 where you'll catch UWC, who battle DUT, and as well as the Soweto, the Tshwane derby between TUT and UP Tuks. That will kick off at 7:15. That will also be televised on your live on SuperSport. That will be the big game, the main event that you can look forward to on Friday Night Lights. Hashtag Yashisa at Varsity Diski. Let us know your predictions of those matches. Who do you think will win those encounters? I'm particularly interested in that Tshwane derby. Do you think that Tuks will be able to bounce back and secure victory, or do you think TUT will be able to silence a crowd there at the University of Pretoria? Let us know on the socials. Hashtag Yashisa. But as you know, as we were just thinking about the football, well, another tournament kicking off right along, right? We've got the Varsity Netball that's kicking off on the weekend. It's taking place at Stellenbosch, the first of a couple of bumper weekends that will open up the weekend. They'll open up the campaign, I should say. So from Sunday until Monday, you look out for some interesting and mouth-watering fixtures out in Stellenbosch as the defending champions, Northwest University, go to defend their crown against many sides who are very desperate to secure some silverware in the 2026 edition of Varsity Netball. It is indeed changing lives. And you know what? I'm so excited because I get to speak to the defending champions captain. I am now joined by Vivian Venatio, who is Northwest University captain as well as goalkeeper. I am so excited to chat to her. Vivian, thank you for your time today and joining us here on the Varsity Sports Podcast. I'm just so excited to chat with you because, you know, in a title defense, there's so much that goes on. But just from your perspective, I mean, what's the mindset like in the team ahead of the first bumper weekend?
It definitely is a lot of pressure. We are coming in with targets on our back, but we are taking the pressure as it comes. We're taking it well and we're taking it to improve our play. And it doesn't necessarily change the mindset of the team because last year is last year. Yes, we won, but we are taking this year as a new slate starting from scratch.
Yeah, that's very true, Vivian. That makes a lot of sense. And just the atmosphere within the camp, what is it like between the players that are more experienced and some of the young players coming into the fold? I mean, how important is that kind of a relationship?
I think the relationship between the experienced players and the younger players is very important because there's always people teaching and there's always people learning. There's always people asking questions. So the young ones can take a lot from the older players, and the older players can also learn from a lot from the young ones because they are the ones actually bringing the energy, bringing the vibe at the moment into the team. So it's a lot of like controlled chaos. So it's good.
It's important to have a mix of experience and young players, and I'm glad that you as a team have found that kind of balance. But let's talk a bit now about the very important element of a title defense. It's actually understanding that a lot of the teams will be looking at you with you have a target on your backs. So when it comes to the 2026 edition, who are some of your immediate threats? I mean, which teams do you think you'll be looking out for in this campaign?
I think the biggest threat for us, we can't really say because, like I said, we are coming in with targets on our backs. So everyone is gunning for us. Everyone is gunning for the title. And I don't want to necessarily say we're defending it. We are also competing for it because, like I said as well, last year is last year and all the teams are going to come in guns blazing. So all the teams are considered to be a threat for us.
And then just from your camp from Northwest University, I mean, what would success look like for you in this campaign? It's a non-negotiable, I'm sure. I'm sure it's all about the title defense, securing the title once again, going back-to-back champions. I'm sure that will be top of your mind, but would anything outside of that be considered a failure?
Success for us would definitely be to win Varsity Cup again. I'm not going to say that we're here to have fun as much as we are also here to compete. We are a very competitive team. So that would be success for us, but we don't measure our failures by winning or losing or how many games we did win or lost throughout the tournament. It also matters how much we build and what we grow, how we grow as people and as players. And so I wouldn't necessarily measure our failures by us losing games or
Vivian, thank you so much for your time. That is Vivian Venatio, the captain of the defending champions Northwest University, joining us here on the Varsity Sports Podcast, sharing so much about what's happening in camp, also telling us some of their secrets, right? So I'm very excited to see how they will show off in the opening bumper weekend and some of the bumper weekends that are coming up. As you know, none of these teams will be making it easy for the other teams. They'll certainly be fighting very, very hard week in and week out. And also, I must say, I've heard so much from the players that a lot goes into these tournaments. A lot goes in terms of preparation. So a big shout out to all the ladies involved in the tournament and the competition because a lot of sacrifices are being made to just get in the team and also to compete for their university? Well, you heard it for yourselves from the Northwest University Eagles captain, Vivian, who's saying, hey, they are ready for action in this campaign of the 2026 season. But now I turn my attention out to somebody who's in studio right now with me from Wits University. The competition is heating up, and Giora Prinsloo, welcome to Varsity Sports Podcast. It's good to have the very first Wits guest in studio, by the way.
Lovely being here. Thank you for having me.
So you going into the season, it's quite familiar terrain for you because you've been exposed to this environment for a while, competing in the Varsity Netball. Just your preparations, like as a team. I mean, where's the team at?
I mean, even though netball's considered a winter sport, we've been at it since January already. There's been multiple tournaments, so I think the prep has been going a long way. With all these various tournaments, we've had Spa Champs, we have had the TNL, all of these things. So you're playing for different teams. So all of this exposure and experience that you're gaining there, we are injecting back into the program. So now the last bit of prep is just getting the team together since everyone's been all over the place, and now just um, tuning in the fine details and getting the combo work done. So it's a lot of match play now, but I think the prep's been going good, the conditioning and everything's been done. So now we just have to get into competition mode now.
What's the hardest part of preseason? Is it like getting match fit, or is it about getting in shape from a strength and conditioning perspective? What's the hardest part for you?
Oh, 100% the court conditioning.
Yeah,
Um,
like your lungs are burning all
yeah,
the
no,
time, eh?
definitely. You do try to do your own conditioning, or at least I do December, but I feel like the moment I step onto court back at Wits, it feels like all of that was for nothing and you start from scratch. So it's definitely the hardest part, getting back into shape from then. But I think if you just have like a proper preseason program, you're good to go because you never really stop.
What's interesting about all these tournaments is that they happen at different times, right? And you want to peak at the right time. And I think your sports scientists have to figure that out for you. You don't have to worry about that. But do you have conversations that explain to you guys about to you as a team what needs to happen for you to peak at the right time?
I mean, our strength and conditioning coach, so he explains that we have these blocks. So you have a strength block where we would be like squatting with heavier weight and stuff, and then we have a, I don't know what he calls it, some different block where we're doing more acceleration and speed and stuff. So I'm sure they've got it all under wraps. We just take court and play.
Yeah. So I've said this before on the podcast, but if you're joining us for the very first time, I am a Vitsi, a proud Vitsi. I studied Wits as well, and that's one thing that Giara and I have in common right now. And the Wits is all about the edge, right? So academically, it's difficult to like survive at Wits and to actually finish a course because a lot of people get excluded. But for you, I mean, you seem to be handling this really well.
I mean, I've had a few years of experience right now. You get used to it. But I do think the varsity netball this time of the year is quite hard because you're starting with your block tests and everything, and now with bumper weekends coming up, you're traveling a lot. But I do think if you just keep up to date with your coursework, the moment you get back, it's not hard to get back into the feel of being academics and everything. So I mean, you get the hang of it. At least this year we've had our Sport Champs tournament that's usually in December. We've already had that. So now after Varsity Netball, we're done for the year, hopefully, I think. And then we can get back to work. So you just have to keep up to date with your work.
Speaking of the university, I mean, this competition, the bumper weekend, one of the bumper weekends is going to be hosted at Wits. I mean, what's your message to the Witsies out there to come and support the team in that bumper weekend? You probably need all their support.
Oh, of course. I love playing. I think I speak for the whole team in saying home game is our favorite game because you just feed off of the energy of the crowd. It's hard when you're an away team and you're playing against a home crowd because you don't have that support going for you. So when we're at Wits, we have the home ground advantage. So I'm so excited. So I really hope that the people come in numbers because it makes a big difference.
Yeah. And a big part about that is that also the team does have its own identity. So in the preseason, there's been conversations about team identity, and I'm sure coach has been speaking a lot about that with the ladies in the team. So what's the Wits identity this year going into 2026?
I'd say the Wits netball team, we're hungry and we're resilient. So I think that's the identity we're going in with. We are going with a fighting spirit, and we're ready to go to war. honestly, because that's what it is. That's how it is on court. And I think we've had the prep, we've done the work, so we just have to get going and finish what we started.
Yeah. You mentioned war. I've heard somebody saying in the past that sometimes it's okay to lose the battle in order to win the war, right? Speaking to the fact that sometimes the losses teach you so much. You've been in the environment for a while. The previous seasons, thinking about the previous seasons, thinking about this battle 2026. What are some of the things that you want to take into this campaign to make sure that you can lift the trophy from your previous lessons?
I mean, we've had a lot of losses over the years. I think to be a champion, you have to show up every single game because in sport, it's who shows up the day of. Some games are better than others, so I think you have to be locked in from the start. Every game you have to take it. It's a new game, new day, and as you previously said, it's war. So you can't just go in comfortable. You have to expect the worst in a sense of it's not going to be easy. So you just have to be resilient, and that's how you're going to win it.
As captain, you go into the campaign with, I guess, a little bit of pressure and a sense of expectation. But how do you galvanize a sense of unity, the sense of motivation, and maybe a bit of inspiration, and maybe during the quarter breaks and so on? How do you handle that part of the game as captain?
I think one thing I've been really privileged with is the girls that I'm in a team with. They make it so easy.
Yeah,
I don't think I'm like the loud leader type. I'm usually silent, more observing. So the girls have it covered. So when one person anyone can take the initiative and say, okay, girls, the energy's dropping, and then the whole team will just chime in and bring up the energy. So the nice thing is it's not solely like on one person. And my vice captain Pila also has a big
yeah,
responsibility, and she's also carrying the team there. So yeah, it's really they make the job easy.
yeah. Hashtag I love it is one of the big campaigns for the Varsity Netball tournament, and also changing lives, because we've seen players coming from the Varsity Netball competition, from the university space, Telkom Netball League, going to playing for the Spa Proteas. So, for you, where do you want to take this? How far you want to go with it?
I mean, nothing is guaranteed in sports, so if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, then so be it. I've learned a lot from netball, and of course, I would love to play for the Proteas one day, if God willing, if that's
Yeah,
possible.
from your mouth to God's ears.
Yeah, so whatever happens, happens. I'm just grateful to still be able to play in this campaign because it's done a lot of it's done wonders for the girls and for the morale. I think it's lovely being able to be a student athlete, and we wouldn't be the people that we are now without it.
Yeah, well, the tournament is better with you ladies in it and with you as captain. So thanks for joining us in studio today to chat a bit about what's happening at Wits. Really appreciate your time.
Thank you so much.
Giada Prinsloo, captain of Wits, confident, talking about their campaign ahead of 2026 as it kicks off in Stellenbosch. She says, listen, the hunger, the determination, the sense of focus in the camp is certainly what she's experiencing as the identity of the Wits side in 2026. So we wish them the very, very best. And if you are from Wits, I'm sure you get behind the ladies and get to that bumper weekend and get right behind the team, because, hey, they're really working hard behind the scenes. Varsity Netball is a vibe, it's a fierce, it's loud, it's electric, it's exciting. It's where you want to be every single weekend, every single Sunday, every single Monday. That's where you want to be at the varsity action. Listen, I am joined by the very special person who actually is the brains behind what you'll see. Hashtag I love it. Said it right. Hashtag I love it. Hashtag you love it. Hashtag I love it. You know what I mean? Anushka, welcome to the Varsity Sports Podcast for the very first time. It's good to have you up.
Thank you so much for having me. Very excited to be here.
You may have seen Anushka at some of the game experiences in the stadium. I'm sure some students have seen you a lot because you go to almost every single game.
Definitely.
Are you counting how many games you've been watching now?
I think I've lost count
Is
at
it?
this stage, to be honest with you.
Well, this weekend is a special one. Stellenbosch opening bumper weekend in Varsity Netball. What can we expect?
I mean, like you said, electric, vibey, fierce. I think a lot of fans can actually expect that. It's going to be very, very exciting, very thrilling. We're also celebrating Marty's, their netball club turning 100 this year. So, yeah, I think
Yeah.
a lot of excitement, especially this weekend. It's going to be quite an opener, big bang opener. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's special. It's always very special. And you know what? I see the sports growing. It's also kind of a family experience. I've seen a lot of families coming to experience the bumper weekend collectively. So those stories are really what it's about. Because then some of the girls growing up are like, wow, I want to be,
Yeah.
one of the players on the court.
No, definitely. Look, I think that's the whole point behind it, and actually having some of these matches on a Sunday as well. Families get to come out. You see small kids, you see parents, you even see grandparents that actually do come out to these matches on a Sunday, and surprisingly, even on a Monday, it's a nice family outing. People get to watch some lovely netball. There's always food, there's drinks, so really, really fun times.
Yeah, and the action's only be taken on. Obviously, people can catch the games on SuperSport and so on. But in terms of the socials, I think that's where we need a lot of people to come on board. It's hashtag I love it. Can you explain to us why it's important for us to get behind this campaign? Hashtag I love it.
Look, I think everybody just needs to start realizing that we love netball. In
Yeah.
this country, we really, really love netball. So we actually started with this campaign last year already. And we always, kind of do a little bit of market research. Do people want to change it? And everybody said no, they literally do love it.
Yeah.
So we didn't want to change it. And it actually matches in with our power play song that actually sings, I don't care, I love it. So yeah, it actually matches very, very well. So I think people need to realize that the girls also love netball, and that's why we actually end up doing these competitions for them.
Yeah. And then with the tournament itself, I mean, I think it's so exciting and so important for us to make sure that everybody understands that, listen, we're thinking about the experience of everybody who comes there, that they have a good feeling, an emotional experience connected to varsity netball. So what have you done? What can we expect in 2026 in terms of the fan experience, the giveaways, the exciting entertainment at the halftime and so on?
Look, I think this year, like I said, it's going to be super, super, super exciting. I think the crowd can see behind you. We have some amazing goodies and giveaways this year. Lots of fun competitions, shootouts. We'll also have sponsor activations with F&B, having an F&B groove, Suzuki having a little box card race with a shootout at the end. Lots of dancing, lots of fun. This weekend at Maltese, we actually have a photo booth as well that we actually want students to come through, take some pictures and actually just have a lot of experiences at these. There's always fun music, vibey MCs, a lot of crowd interaction, social media. We have a lot of selfie props that people can actually use to, promote themselves and the campaign on social media. So, yeah.
I mean, it's all fun and games. It's all a vibe. It's all about bringing the campus experience. But in terms of the campus activations themselves, because I understand that, yes, course is course. It's a bit hectic, but somebody might be stressed coming from the library and then boom, they're walking into a campus activation on campus and it's hashtag I love it everywhere. So walk us through some of those. I mean, what can we expect in those campus activations?
Look, I think the campus activation is very important because that's where we actually tell people about the varsity netball and encourage them to come through to the matches. Also, lots of activations, lots of giveaways, very similar giveaways to the ones behind you, but also for them just to meet the team. I think you mentioned it earlier. Usually, young girls want to meet people and say, "Oh, but that's me." But as much as it's them, it's also the juniors on campus that I think actually want to meet these players to say, "Oh, but I also want to be with you, or I also want to be where you are." So, yeah, lots of interaction once again. And I think the most exciting part of these campus activations is actually meeting the players and seeing that they're also just a student, the same as you, and how hard they're working to actually get there. So, yeah.
You're very connected with the sport. You're very connected with the different teams, but not to create a bit of division. Do you have a favorite team?
I do, but I cannot disclose that, unfortunately.
Poppy Act.
Poppy Act. But I love all of the teams. I think they all bring a different vibe to the competition, and it's really standing out. It's nice to interact with all of them, and also at all of the different bumpers. I mean, each bumper is literally different from one another based on the venue, but also what each of these teams bring, and they all bring a little bit of something different. So yeah.
Yeah. And also just a final thought on my side is like, yes, we're having fun. Yes, we're having a great vibe. But in the process, there are student athletes who are turning professional, right? There's student athletes who are growing, honing their skills, going to play in the Telkom Netball League. The list is really long,
Yeah.
right? We could sit down here and talk about the likes of players who are playing for the Spa Poachers, who've gone on to play Commonwealth and so on, and saying, listen, their journey really started in the Varsity Netball competition, and that helped them to hone their skills and grow. I mean, that's the story of impact that, we are actually all about in this competition.
Yeah, look, the Varsity Netball has the hashtag I love it, but Varsity Sports has the hashtag changing lives. And that's what Varsity Sports is all about. In all of our various competitions, the rugby, the netball, the football, it's all about changing lives of students and actually helping them to get to where they want to be. Like you said, our players are playing in TNL, they go up to Spa Proteas. Recently at the Spa Championships, we saw so many of the girls that played last year or on the team sheets for this year playing at these competitions. And I think it's very important for us to actually have these competitions to elevate the athletes. And I mean, there are student athletes, but I think that's what's also important for us as a tournament is making sure that these students remember that they are actually students, perform well academically, and then go out and perform well on the field as well.
Yeah, before I let you go, just to remind our viewers and the listener, we start off in Stellenbosch this weekend, and then after that, we head off to
We are going
Koffsies.
off to Koffsies in Bloemfontein, and then we have the one day at Wits where we will be having a little bit of netball on the Sunday only, and then after that we'll be heading to Tux in Pretoria, and then it's up to semis and finals where we will be ending up.
Yeah, exciting. Thank you so much, Anushka Swat, for the love that you're showing the game, and also just for your commitment towards the game. Hopefully, one day we'll be able to keep count of your tally of games that you're attending. But at this point, it's fair play to say that you are the number one champion in terms of just really supporting the ladies and really growing the sport in South Africa.
Awesome. Thank you so much, and thanks so much for having me. Hopefully, I'll see you again towards the end of the tournament. We'll have a bit of a chat on how it went.
Yeah, of course. You might catch me on this courtside dancing and so on, and interacting with the fans for sure.
We'll have a dance-off between
Yes,
the two of us
two
at
of us.
halftime. Love it.
Incredible. That brings us to the end of the chat with Anushka Swat. She's leading the campaigns and the marketing elements around the Varsity Netball, and really just speaking from the heart. She's really passionate about the sport, but also she loves the athletes. She's connected with them. If you do catch her at any of the games, remember, stop her, take a selfie, whatever. Hashtag changing lives, hashtag I love it, and Varsity Netball is where it's at. But you know what? I've learned so much from this conversation, just learning the importance of why these campaigns matter, right? Yes, it's about engaging you back at home, maybe engaging you on your campus, but it's about a few things, right? Entertaining you, educating you about what happens around, varsity sport, and most importantly, bringing the awareness of this wouldn't be possible without the likes of FNB, SportPesa, as well as Suzuki. So some of the integration at halftime, courtside, participate in all that because it's all there for a reason. But I mean, it's been really insightful. It's been really a learning thing for me here. So I've enjoyed that conversation. Let us know what you've thought about the conversation. What has been your favorite part of my interviews today? I mean, we've spoken to 3 different people. We've heard from the captain of Northwest University. We've also heard from the captain of Wits, and what an exciting season we have ahead of us. I can almost sense that people in Stellenbosch are really excited for what's coming. The opening weekend and the opening bumper weekend. Will Stellenbosch rise on top? Will they be unbeaten in the opening campaign? Will the defending champions, Northwest Eagles, rise to the occasion and defend their title? Or will perhaps the likes of Wits, who consider themselves perhaps as, hanging in the fringes and tucks, and the other teams, will they rise to the occasion and cause a surprise? Well, we'll have to wait and see come Sunday and Monday at Stellenbosch for the opening weekend as we continue to build up to the netball tournament. We will expect to see you posting on social media. Remember to follow this podcast, like, subscribe, and always remember to tell a friend, to tell a friend, to tell their friend, right? That we've got this podcast. It's the only Varsity Sports podcast in South Africa, but also the first Varsity Sports Podcast in South Africa covering multiple sports. So very, very excited for that and very excited for you to join us on this journey. It's the end of episode 4. Catch you on the drop on episode 5 as we continue to build and reflect on your favorite teams, players, coaches, and moments. From my side, it's nothing but love and light. Goodbye.